Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. If you see a disaster behind me, that's because there is. Today's video is actually going to be a Laundro-Chat. So if you haven't seen one of those before, basically I'm going to just take you with me as I fold my laundry. So if you've got some laundry that you've been putting off folding, go ahead and grab it up right now. Get this video turned on your phone or TV and let's go ahead and hang out together and chat and fold our laundry. I asked you guys if you had any questions for me over on my Instagram account. I did get a couple of questions from my friend Abby over at Inspired to Health. Thank you so much for asking questions, Abby. I really appreciate it. I will be answering most if not all of your questions in this video, as well as just sharing some tips on my laundry routine and just anything else that really comes to mind. So if chatty videos aren't your thing, you probably won't like this video. But if you are looking to just chill and hang out and get some chores done or fold some laundry together, then this is going to be something you enjoy. If you're new to my channel, I'd love to have you consider subscribing. All of my videos are based around simple living and working towards simplifying your life. So if you're into that kind of thing, I go over homemaking, beauty routines, even some fashion, but especially around the home and life in general, just how we can simplify and have more time to do what's most important to us. That's what I want this channel to be all about, and if that is your thing, then I think you're going to love the videos that I have already on my channel as well as the ones that are coming up. There's lots of exciting things coming in 2019, so I hope you'll stay tuned for that. And without talking any further, let's go ahead and get into folding some laundry. So I'm definitely not the best at multitasking, so we're going to see how this goes. But let me just start off with, first of all, what in the world is my laundry routine? Because if you haven't seen it already, let me just show you guys. That is what I've got going on here. A lot of laundry. So if you're wondering what in the world is my laundry routine, let's get into that. If you don't already know, I work full-time outside of the home, so I'm not a full-time homemaker, which is actually one of my dreams and something I'm working towards. If Lord willing, that is in His plan, then that is what I want to do one day. But currently, me and my husband both work full-time outside of the home, and we're using this time that we're working full-time to save up money and just get us closer to our goals in life, and that's why I'm not a full-time homemaker right now. So because of that, things like laundry routines, cleaning routines, routines in general, they can be a little bit more challenging just because pretty much my work, if I let it, can kind of control my life because I'm working for someone else. Someone else tells me when I have to go to work every day, and I spend the majority of my day outside of my home, away from my family, and working for someone else. So, to sum it up, I pretty much do laundry whenever I can. I try really hard not to let it get too out of hand, but you know what? If you're busy, you gotta do what works for you. I don't have anything like on Tuesday I do all my lights, on Wednesday I do all my darks, or anything like that. It's pretty much, I keep 3 baskets, actually I have 4 laundry baskets in our closet, and in one of them goes all of the laundry that we wash on hot, so like underwear and hand towels and anything like that. And then in one of the other baskets has everything we wash on cold, like darks, so it'll have like jeans and t-shirts and anything that's dark colored that needs to be washed on cold. In another basket I'll have all of the lights, so like white colored shirts or whatever that gets washed on cold, and I keep those all together in one basket. And then in another basket I keep all of our bath towels that are dirty, so we'll just throw them in there. So that makes doing laundry so much easier than having to take the time to sort the laundry before I can do it. So that way, literally when I get up in the morning and I'm getting ready for work and I see that something needs like the basket, one of the baskets is overflowing, I know that's the laundry I'm doing today. So that really just simplifies it for me. The baskets kind of take the effort out of routine making out of it for me. So I just base it on whatever basket is the fullest. And I can either throw that in before I go to work that morning. Sometimes my husband will throw it in if it's his day off or if he goes in later than me. Or usually what happens is either I throw it in the morning, or when I get home from work I'll throw it in and then I'll get it into the dryer, you know, before bed or whatever. So that works really well for us right now. I mean, it's not always perfect, but we're almost usually never out of laundry doing it that way. So if you're busy and you are not someone who is either able to follow a routine every week, or someone who maybe doesn't like routines, then I would recommend using the basket system because it works super well for me. And then as far as like folding laundry goes, sometimes I try not to let the laundry stack up too much, but I knew I was going to be doing this video, so I did let it stack up a little bit. But sometimes we will have, you know, 1 or 2 baskets over here that have got clean laundry that I have pulled out of the dryer before bed. And my best tip for getting laundry folded when you're busy, who's not busy, right? But my best tip is, or what works for me, is to try to do it in as little time as possible. So I try to like squeeze it in because that motivates me. If I'm like, okay, I've got 20 minutes before my husband gets home from work, I've got dinner on the stove, let me go ahead and try to knock out as much laundry as I possibly can in those 10 to 20 minutes. So I will throw the laundry on the bed, like right now, how I've got it, and then I will be stirring dinner and then coming in here folding laundry as fast as I can. And that really helps me because I don't have to think like, oh man, I have to take a whole afternoon aside to fold laundry, and then I just keep putting it off because I hate, you know, doing that. So by trying to squeeze it in and say, oh, I've got an extra 10 minutes right now, why don't I go ahead and see how much laundry I can knock out in that time? That has been working for me. It's not perfect, but you know what? While I'm working full-time outside of the home, it's pretty close to it. So, and for those of you who are wondering, I am still using my favorite t-shirt folding method, which I absolutely love and I've shown in other videos, but I love it because it's just super simple and the t-shirt turns out the same size every time. I just did that now for this t-shirt. As you can see, it works out really nicely. I've actually changed the method a couple times, but the most recent time that I showed in the video is the method that I'm still using. And I'm trying to think which video that I shared my most recent method in. I'm not really sure, but if you're curious, I'll go ahead and show you right now. Let me just point the camera down. Okay. Alright, so I'm going to just fold on top of this towel, but basically all I do is I put the t-shirt facing front down, like, yeah, front down. I fold it in half like this, and then I just grab it at the side of the neckline. So both parts that I just folded, I grab the side of the neckline, and then I imagine a straight line down this way towards the center of the shirt, and I just lift it, and that folds the sleeve in that way. Then I fold it this way, and then I flip it, and then fold it in half. And there you have it. So if I can find the video where I show it better, I'll go ahead and link that in the cards. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and start answering some of the questions I got from Abby over on my Instagram account. So the first question is, how did you and when did you get your dog Coda? And you asked if you spelled it right, Abby. Yeah, you definitely spelled it right. K-O-D-A, that's how you spell it. So actually my husband got Coda. He's a Siberian Husky. If you guys haven't seen him, he shows up in nearly all my videos, so it wouldn't take much effort to try to find him if you haven't seen him already. Just look through my videos. But my husband got Coda as a puppy, and he actually got him before I even knew my husband. So by the time that I met my husband, Coda was already like a year old, I think. Maybe he was is he 2? No, because he's about 4 now. So my husband and I have been married 3 years. So I think Coda was about like a year old when my husband and I met. So, but I believe he got him from a breeder here in Kansas. And yeah, so when I met him, he already had him, and it took a little bit of a while for Coda and I to adjust to each other. I really liked him, but at first, he was such a big dog, and he used to like jump up on me, and so at first I was a little nervous around him, but then very quickly I realized he was quite the sweetheart and was just really playful. But he was also really jealous of me, I guess. Like, he was used to having my husband to himself, so when I came in the picture, he would get really jealous. Like, every time I would try to sit down on the couch next to my husband, well, actually we were just dating at that time, or even after we got married too, for a while, he would try to like steal the spot where I was gonna sit. So he would like really quickly like sit down right where I was about to sit, or he would just try to like squish between my husband and I when we were watching a movie. And yeah, I don't even remember all the things he did, but I just remember he was like really jealous of me and the time that I took away from their buddy time, I guess. So I wasn't sure if the dog was ever gonna really like me or forgive me for that. But honestly, it wasn't until, when was it, like halfway into our marriage really, that, I mean, he accepted me before that, but now whenever I had to quit my last job and I came home for about 6 months, that was like about a year ago, I came home for about 6 months, and that was an amazing time, and the dog and I really connected, and we used to have to keep him kenneled up because he didn't behave very well. So whenever we were at work, if we left him out in the house, he would chew up the floorboards, chew up the furniture, like he would just destroy anything and everything that he could. So we had to keep him kenneled up, sadly. So when I came home from work for like those 6 months, he got to come out of the kennel, obviously, and I think he associated that freedom with me, and so he started to really like me. And I gave him a lot of treats too, and like bribed him a little bit. And yeah, he just started to really bond. We started to bond a lot because we were home alone together, and so we would just like I would talk to him and stuff, so he would just hang out on the couch and chill next to me while I was working on my business, getting my business launched on Amazon and whatever else I was working on, my YouTube channel. So he really was really sweet during that time, and we got a lot closer. So Abby also asked, can you share more about how you started selling on Amazon? Yeah, so Amazon was something I had been researching for probably a couple years before I actually went and did it. At first I was like super excited in my research, but after a while it became overwhelming, and after a while you just have to go for it, or else you're never going to learn everything there is to learn, but you can definitely learn by doing. And I wish I would have even started sooner than I did, because everything, like the first time launching my products was the most difficult part for me, because everything I was doing for the first time. But now that I've done it, I've launched it, like restocking and everything else, it's pretty much a breeze. Like, it's really quite easy, and honestly it was a lot easier to start than I thought it would be, but going through the steps for the first time were kind of overwhelming and complicated, and there's still so much more that I have to learn. Like, even still, I don't even know everything about it yet. I'm still learning. But really, how I started was, I knew I wanted to try selling on Amazon, and so I decided to choose a product that I was really passionate about. If you want to make a brand, like if you want to make your own brand, I would say that Amazon is not necessarily the best or only way to make your own brand, because I guess it depends what you're going for. Okay, so if you want to establish a brand, if you have an idea in mind or something you're really passionate about and you're more doing it because you're passionate about the product versus just wanting to make money fast or succeed quickly, then it's going to take time, and maybe establishing your own website for the brand even prior to starting on Amazon could be a good thing for you. And yeah, so that was the way I wanted to do it, is I wanted to establish a brand. I wasn't necessarily just trying to make money fast. I mean, I hoped that I would make money like fairly fast, but I also was passionate about my product, and that was the main reason for it. If I were to do it over and just like wanted to be a success on Amazon, I would not choose the product that I chose probably. I would choose something that's more like hot right now, or something that's more in, something that is less competitive than the product that I chose, because the product I chose is super competitive and there's a ton of other products out there so similar to it but not quite like it. It's really hard to stand out, but nonetheless I'm definitely gaining traction, and there's so much more I could do to probably succeed even more than I have, but it got to a point where I wasn't willing to put any more money into it, because at first we kind of took a loss because we were just paying for a lot of advertising, but then after a while it got to a point where I was like, okay, this is as much as I had wanted to pay for advertising, and now it's time to try to make back what we put into it. And so now we have, like, Black Friday was an incredible success, and I actually sold around $1,000 in product within just like 5 days. I think it was like 5 or 6 days that the sale went on for. But yeah, if you're wanting to establish a long-term brand that's going to grow into something, then it's probably going to take longer than like an overnight success where you're choosing products based on what is hot right now, what's selling right now, and kind of just going with the trends. I don't know, like I may experiment with some of that at some point, but for me that sounds exhausting because I'm working full time. Just the thought of having to constantly keep up with the trends is not a very attractive thing for me. I would rather let my product grow organically and slowly and continuously over time, and then eventually have it grow into something that could be an income replacement or an extra stream of income. So that's kind of what I'm working towards, but obviously, you know, I want it to be a success, and there's things I could do now to help it be more of a success, I'm sure, but I'm still learning. My recommendation is, if you're thinking about selling on Amazon, I would go for it. I would try out a product. You could research, you could, you know, get all the programs out there that say they can help you do it, but ultimately you just got to try it and learn. Amazon is something that you do have to have some upfront cost and be willing to take a loss at first, probably, at least based on what I experienced. So you never know how a product's really going to do until you launch it. So, but yeah, ultimately with any products-based company or business, you have to be willing to put in upfront cost, not knowing for sure that you're going to get it back. So it is kind of a risk, it's kind of a gamble. It's something I still plan to continue doing, and I am loving having the extra like income on the side. I mean, honestly, we're just pouring it back into the business, but you know, it will get to the point where it'll be an extra income, I believe. So I am loving that, but through that experience, I did learn even more about myself and how much I actually, although I think I will do additional product-based businesses in the future, but I honestly found out like product-based business is probably something I would like to do on the side, and the main business that I think that I want to focus on right now in addition to that is actually content based, so like YouTube, blogging, that kind of thing, because you can do those things and not have so much upfront cost, but obviously they take longer to become successful and probably than something you can sort of pay for advertising or pay your way through or get a product in front of people. Like content based takes a longer time to grow possibly. I mean, it just kind of depends. But in my experience, I think that's the case. I think you just need to know the basics, like what product you want to start with, where you can get that product from, who your manufacturer is going to be, and that kind of thing. Are you making it yourself, or are you doing private label or what not? And then once you know what your product is, know how much you're willing to spend up front, and then know how to ship it to Amazon and make a listing, all the basics. Just learn the basics and don't get too caught up in too much else, I feel like, because then it just gets super overwhelming and you never start, because there's so much information out there. There's free information, there's courses, there's all of that. And if you're the kind of person who really needs a structure, then you could try one of the courses, but everything is out there for free. I really believe that. So the next question is, you are working full-time again, so what does that part of your day look like? Paperwork or people work? Working on a team or individually? Yeah, my job is kind of a mix of both paperwork and people work, but mostly paperwork. So I work for a bank, and I'm at this point not in customer service. So I'm sort of behind the scenes, and I do a lot of processing, like processing paperwork, making sure we're meeting regulations as far as the loans that we're putting through. And I work on some of the larger loans, and I just make sure that the loan officers have met the regulations and that we've got the applications that we needed to accept and approve that loan. So it's a lot of back end work. So once everything has gone through the process of being approved, then it comes to me and my team, and we take a look at everything and make sure that we're not going to have a problem with this loan. Oh, and then as far as if I work on a team, yeah, I definitely work on a team, but each of us individually are responsible for certain duties. Like I handle all of the loans that are over a certain amount, and then someone else handles all the loans that are under a certain amount, and someone else handles the consumer loans. So yeah, we each have our own individual tasks, but we also try to help each other whenever one of us is free and the other might be getting behind or something like that. So we are on a team, but we each have our own duties. The next question is, do you and your husband have siblings or come from small family homes? So do we come from small family homes or large family homes? So both of us have siblings. My husband has a sister and a brother, and then I come from a big family, so I have 3 brothers and 3 sisters, and I am number 5, so I'm the 5th kid, so 3rd youngest kid. So there's 7 of us total, 7 kids. So the next question is, when you aren't feeling well, how do you stay motivated to work beyond what is necessity, like YouTube, for example? Yeah, that's a really, really, really good question, and something that I have struggled with off and on a lot. So when I'm not feeling well, how do I stay motivated to do what's not just necessity? I wish there was like an easy answer for this, but honestly, there were and have been days where honestly all that I could do was necessity. So I would come home from work and just, because if you all are new, I was suffering with chronic fatigue syndrome for the last like 10 years of my life, like off and on. There were times where it was better and times where it was worse. And in recent times it got worse. Like it got really, really bad where I could hardly get off the couch. I could hardly get out of bed. And I just had to literally force myself to get up, to go to work. And then when I came home, it was just, the home suffered because I wanted to be cooking, I wanted to be doing these things, but it was so difficult and I didn't know what was wrong with me, and it was really scary. And honestly, I did try to just force myself to do things, but YouTube, I was doing YouTube back then, and YouTube suffered too. There was like a month where I didn't get a video out, and then there were weeks at a time where I didn't get videos out, and I just became very inconsistent with YouTube. But although I was discouraged about it, I just knew like I have to figure out what's going on with myself. I have to take care of myself. And sometimes all you can do is the necessity and what's necessary to keep going. And when you have a family to take care of, that makes it harder because it makes it harder, but it also is good because it keeps you going. If it were just you, because at times, like when I was single and it was just me, I had a hard time like even cooking for myself, like eating food at all. It was hard because now I have to, make a meal for my husband, but before I didn't have to. And so it was just, yeah, that just made it kind of worse. But so there was a time where I just didn't do much other than the necessity. And honestly, how I got past having other activities like YouTube, it did keep me going because although I missed time and I was inconsistent, I still in the back of my mind knew that's something I wanted to do. And you just really realize like what are the things you really are really important to you. And one of the things was business. So even when I was too tired to do anything, I was researching. Like I was researching and thinking this is what I wanted to do. And yeah, sometimes it made me sad because I was researching what I wanted to be doing but didn't feel good enough to do it. So pretty much it just got to a point where I felt so bad that I knew this was no way to live, and I decided to see another doctor. I had seen doctors before, but I just tried a different type of doctor, which was a naturopath. And that's when I started to get answers, and I started to feel better, and I started to get more energy and motivation to be able to do things. So I really think if you're feeling unwell and like you can't do things, and you're struggling, whether that's depression or something else going on physically, mentally, emotionally, health-wise, whatever it is, there's something your body is trying to tell you if you're in that situation. And sometimes you do just need to snap out of it. You do just need a schedule change. You do need to light a fire under your feet, and you need to get on a routine to help you. But I feel like, from my experience, a lot of the times there's actually something really going on that you need to listen to your body about. Your body is telling you something's not right. So if you've tried things over and over and you're still just feeling unmotivated and you're not succeeding, I really think that we need to get help in those situations. So whether that's seeing a doctor or a therapist or talking to someone, having someone that you can talk to, I think that really helps. But I mean, I'm a little biased because this is what's worked for me. I wasn't sure that I was ever going to be able to feel normal again, but when I went to the doctor, a naturopath was the one that finally helped me because they did the tests, they looked deeper, and they found out that I actually had like some gene variations that are completely not in my control. I was born with these gene variations, obviously, and they were causing a lot of really bad symptoms that normal testing wouldn't have picked up because it would have looked like I was fine on normal testing. So that was just one of the things. There were various things that I was considered borderline, so a normal doctor would say, I was okay, but he was like, no, like I think this is a warning sign. And so that started to just help me turn my life around. And with that came new motivation, new energy, and just an increased enthusiasm for what I wanted to accomplish in life. So when you get new energy, you automatically have motivation to get things done. Like I don't want to tell people to just like force yourself to just push through and make your work against what your body's telling you, because your body is feeling this way for a reason, and that reason has got to be addressed. So I think, in my opinion, that first thing you need to do before you just push your way through it is to get checked out by what I recommend is a naturopath, doctor, and make sure your blood work is coming back fine. Make sure that everything is in check. Make sure your neurotransmitters are balanced and your hormones are okay, because all of that affects, everything is connected in your body. It could be your digestion, because 80 to 90% of your immune system is in your gut. So if you've got a bad situation in your gut, it's going to affect your brain and everything else. So it could be your adrenals. If you're just beyond exhausted, your adrenaline could be just burnt out. Your adrenals could be burnt out, and no matter how much energy you pluck up, you're not going to be able to sustain it. So that's why I think it's important to get checked out. And then the other side of it is when you are just unmotivated, when it's not a health reason and you just, you'd rather watch another episode on Netflix or whatever, then I think having an image in mind of where you're trying to go in life, of what you're trying to work towards, and this can be like a family goal, but it can also be like a personal goal that you have. So maybe you want to sell on Amazon, or maybe you want to start your own business some other way, or maybe you want to just get to the next level in your fitness, or whatever it is, whatever your own personal goal is, as well as your family goal. Keep that image at the front of your mind, because that is going to be what gets you up earlier in the morning, or what gets you off the couch when you want to hit play on the next episode, or what makes you work a little harder on your days off to push something out there, whether that's a YouTube video or a blog post, or taking 10 minutes to answer emails for your business inquiries, whatever that is. Having that image in mind, like, this is where I want to go, this is where I want to take my family. But not just having the image in mind of where you want to go, but look at what your life is going to be like when you get there. So if you can already envision what you're going to have and what your life is going to be like when you get there, that to me is even more powerful. Like, every morning I'm thinking about my goal, but not just my goal, I'm thinking about what life will look like. I want to enjoy the moment I'm in now, but I want to be working towards something that is going to even better our family situation. So for me, I want to be self-sustained or have financial independence. My husband and I agree on this. We both are working towards financial independence through additional streams of income. So we're not just relying on working for someone else, having our own jobs. No, we want to be able to have income replacement if we ever wanted, but we want our businesses to be able to actually sustain us if we chose that route. The way that I personally work towards this is because in my mind I can envision having a lot more freedom with that lifestyle. The freedom to, if I chose to live half the year in Virginia where my family lives and half the year in Kansas where his family lives, so we can see them both. Or the freedom to at least be able to travel at will, to be able to spend weeks out there in Virginia and weeks wherever else we want to vacation. Like, that is something that really empowers us, and at least me personally empowers me to, get another video out, to be successful on YouTube, to work hard on my Amazon business and my other businesses that I have in the works. That is what gives me strength and motivation to keep going when I don't feel like it, because those things aren't going to do themselves. But these visions and these goals are very reachable and very possible. I've seen other people do it. I know I can do it, and I know we are doing it. So that's what keeps me going. Alright, well, I have pretty much finished folding the laundry now, and I'm going to go ahead and put everything away. But if you enjoyed this video and you'd like to see this a regular thing, give this video a thumbs up so I know, and we could definitely turn this into maybe a every week or every 2 weeks or monthly thing. Like, we can get our laundry together and hang out, and you can ask questions and we can chat and that kind of thing. So if you'd like to see that, give this video a thumbs up, but also let me know in the comments so I'm really sure that that's something you want, because I mean, we're all always folding laundry, right? Why not keep each other company? I don't know, is that something you would want to see? Let me know. Tell me in the comments so I know. But I feel like that would motivate me. Like, if someone was folding laundry and chatting, like, I feel like I would love to turn on that video to fold laundry too, because I'm always turning on like YouTube channels and YouTube videos that I think are inspiring to me, and that's when I get a lot of my YouTube videos watched, is while I'm folding laundry. So yeah, definitely let me know if you liked this, and I hope you did. I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope you have a wonderful rest of your week, and I'll see you really soon in my next video. Bye!
Through wind and through rain, through trouble and pain, if ever my heart strained, will you pull me through like you